Welcome to Eviliv3, the live media commentary show that answers the question, does it feel good momentarily when your intestines fall out? Subscribe if you're new to the channel because today we are reviewing HBO's The Last of Us, Season 2, Episode 5, Feel Her Love. So,
I'd imagine there's got to be some sort of relief. Like, when you take a really massive shit, it hurts, but it's a load off, so that'd be my guess.
It's literally a load off. I sometimes think, like, there must be a moment where you're just like, oh, finally, I don't have to carry that around anymore. And then you just bleed out and die. But, yeah, we have a lot of stuff, like, all tangled up in there in a very tight space. Maybe it would feel good for a moment before all the pain. And then you pass out.
Well, I can definitely imagine, too, like, if you suffer from gas, like, not like, I fart a lot or burp a lot, but, like, actual, like, you know, abdominal, Jesus Christ, I can talk. Yeah, I would imagine there'd be a little bit of relief in that.
So dark. Okay, so this is written by Stephen Williams. Directed by Stephen Williams, I think. Written by Craig Mazin. Released May 11th. And yeah, we're back in The Last of Us world, which is super fun. And I just almost watched the entire thing just now again. Not quite. I missed the very last, but I know exactly what's going to happen. So let's just talk about this episode because ultimately Ellie and Dina, they're sort of just still persistently looking for Nora through this clearly infected by the wolf area. And there's this other Seraph group they don't know anything about that's just out there, and they think they're just victims at this point because that's what they ran across as a massacre of them. And so it's like, well, the wolves are even worse than they thought before because they're killing little girls and they're monsters and et cetera, et cetera. So they're trying to triangulate this way to get to them, and they find this massive building that's just completely ignored. And of course, we opened with the leader of the wolf group talking to another person about having sealed in, what was her son, I think?
Yeah.
Her
Well, it's
own
not
son.
just her son, but yeah, like that was what kept her from getting executed, basically.
Right. Which is...
Yeah, no, shit was heavy.
I mean, it's great because what I love about this show is that they haven't really addressed the airborne part yet. It's like they're slowly leaking out all of the information that if you've played the first game, that's out there initially, like immediately.
Yeah, like that's right out the gate.
Yeah. So it's not something that you discover later on you have to deal with. Like you're walking around with like a gas mask and stuff in certain areas in order to just get past them. So it's... And the whole opening scene, like when the game's loading, is the particles floating through the air. I mean, it's ever present. It's persistent.
Yeah. Yeah, and I honestly I'm cool with how they set that up because yeah, I mean, realistically, like with the first season, like you really want to watch the entire season, it sounds like this. Now. So it's okay that they waited to, you know, bring that part up. And it kind of is almost more intense because of the fact like they didn't fucking know that was even a thing. Like, oh my god, there's spores out there.
Yeah. And it adds to this being a really great episode. Like the ending of this episode.
Yes.
Just super fucking cool. There is a part where I'm starting to get to this vibe. I'm just like, she's too superhero-y. Like, I get that you can't be turned, but you can still get torn limb from limb.
Yeah,
and
like
she's just like, doesn't
you're not going
care
to turn
about
into
that.
a zombie, but you can bleed to death.
Yeah.
You can get a gnarly fucking infection. Like, you know, human mouth's fucking disgusting. And if it's dead and has been dead for a hot minute, like I can imagine it's slightly more disgusting than just a normal human mouth.
Yeah. Not to mention like cutting yourself on metal when you're climbing through areas and you get fucking tetanus or like, you know, some animal attacks you. Like they're real threats, and she doesn't seem to be cared about anything. And that's a little unbelievable to me. And so this is the first time that I actually started, like I've already seen this whole series, so it didn't bug me the first time, but rewatching it, I'm just like, okay, you're saying you can't get infected, but there's like 8 of them and they will tear you apart. Isn't that a concern? Like, really?
Right, especially because it's intelligent ones. It's not just like normal ass fucking zombies.
Which is just scarier.
Yeah, like the fact that they're all basically witches from Left 4 Dead, like that's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, dude.
Those motherfuckers, one can take out an entire crew, much less having an
Awesome.
entire building full of them motherfuckers. Yeah, I miss those games so much.
Yeah, good
So
times.
much.
They were fun little games.
Mm.
Um, so we see them, sort of traveling, and we get to this moment where Ellie's like, they see a bunch of people killed, and she's like, maybe you should just go back. Like, I don't, you have a kid. What am I doing? I'm dragging you into my shit. Like, you should just go back home conveniently when she's already here. I
Yeah.
would also say, like, what? You're going to travel all the way back safely and then come
I
all
mean,
the way.
let's be real here, and for all of our, female audience members, earmuffs, that's a typical woman thing to do. Like, you get all the way there, and it's like, oh, I don't want to be here, and then you fucking leave. Yeah, no, that's reality. Fuck.
Hmm. Who could you be speaking of?
Oh, definitely not my wife. My wife's fucking perfect in every way, shape, or form.
Of course.
I have a friend that told me about that once.
Yeah, it's probably me.
Yeah.
Because my wife, woof, she's the worst about that. See, my wife is the one that's like, yeah, let's go. I'm just like, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to do anything. Leave me alone in life. That's just my happiest place. And she's like, let's have an
It is hard.
experience. Like,
Yeah.
fuck no. Let me just be numb and it just exist.
Right? It's like, I just let me delve into some books or bust my knuckles building things that I have no business working on. Leave
Again,
the house.
a little too
Bleh.
real. But then, of course, Dina shares like her first kill experience, and then it ends with this sort of idea like, if I had to trace him down, I would have chased him down and murdered him in the same way. So if you want me to go, I'll go. If you want me to stay, I'll stay. This is on you. Don't make me be the one to decide when you're the one clearly running the show here, and I'm just
Yeah.
here as a co-host. Like,
Yeah, I did love that because up until that point, you kind of just assume she's there because she wants to bang her, or and sorry, I mean, other than that, like she really deeply cares for her. But that just added a whole other level of like, I understand why you're doing this because I would do the same fucking thing.
yeah. I'm as crazy as you are, woman. That's why we work. That's why our sex is
Yeah,
so good. Because we're insane. Yeah.
usually it's the best.
Can't there be less? Can't there be? Wait, what? Can't be there live tonight, but to dispute the claim last episode, he's he's still talking about that. You bring it up, doth protest too much. All right, I'm just saying.
No, he's
been hanging around
proving
every
that he's not a
truck
homophobe
fest.
by going and banging dudes.
He's living the George Michael life.
Hell
Good
yeah.
on you.
Good on you.
See, I'm not gay.
Just
He loves
every
the
now and then
show.
you got to suck a dick to make sure that you don't like it anymore. Like you still don't like it. Everybody knows that.
He really doesn't like Ellie's selfish choices regarding Dina, but Dina had the chance. And so it's not
Mhm.
selfish. Dina's like in. She's doing it on purpose, intentionally. So I think
Mhm.
this episode clarified any of that concern, at least for me it did.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
she's there.
not only that, but it's like Dina didn't have to be a part of the planning. Dina didn't have to actually walk out the fucking gates or anything.
Mhm.
She chose to do all that stuff because Ellie was doing that shit on her own. But yeah, like with this episode, it brings to light, like straight up, this is a fucking active choice that she is doing because she wants to.
Yeah. Which I like. And look,
Yeah.
we're all like, oh, she's pregnant. She's barely pregnant. Like, this
Yeah.
is barely even a thing. Like, she could fart
Mhm.
wrong and have a miscarriage. This is terrible.
I'm pretty sure that's how that
It's a
works.
terrible comment. But she could trip and fall on her stomach and it's done. So let's not
Mhm.
pretend that there's like a living baby inside of her that's just like, wait, mommy, save me. That's not how it works.
Right. Well, plus, I mean, fuck, she was riding a horse the whole fucking way
Right.
there. Like, I mean, that is probably far more traumatic. Like, I mean, you look back into, semi-recent history, like there was bands of native tribes that the only way they continued their line was by slavery and shit because they could not conceive because they fucking rode horses everywhere and were constantly having miscarriages.
I didn't know
Like,
that.
yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Because you've read that movie. Yeah, you Empire of the Summer Moon.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that.
Like that, it talks about that in there.
All right.
So you did know that. You just forgot you knew that.
In my defense, I've read many books since then, and I don't remember every. I don't have the best memory. So while I'm reading
I
it,
don't
I'll
know.
remember things.
I don't know why I remember that. Like, I don't remember the rest of that fucking book,
It's a
even though I've read it
horrible
multiple
idea.
times.
Yeah.
But that's the one takeaway that I have from that book.
I'm gonna have to go revisit that because I remember it being a very good book.
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to revisit it. All right,
Yeah,
so
it is.
I didn't mind that Dina's still going on, and she explicitly tells Ellie that she loves her, and you'll
Mhm.
do literally anything for someone that you love,
Yeah,
because love is a way of stupefying us
yeah,
beyond
100%.
reason,
Yeah,
like staying
absolutely.
with someone for 30 years, stupid. Should have left 20
Yep.
years ago. Met some whores. Got a disease and died, or at least a healthy heroin addiction.
Hey, Shauna, how you
A
doing?
man can dream.
Thanks for joining
Oh,
us.
hey, Shauna.
Again, talking about a friend.
Yeah, I
That,
heard it. It was in the
this is
Empire Summer Moon, is what I'm talking about.
yeah, yeah.
Everything's in that. And so, okay, so we see them finally get over that hurdle aspect, and then they're sort of crawling through the areas, and that's where they run across all those super creepy, definitely not witches from Left 4 Dead, that
Mhm.
are all sort of swarming them. And then they're ultimately saved by Jesse, who just appears like a knight in shining armor and says, "Yeah, me and Tommy came after you, dumb bitches. What the fuck? We're going home once we meet up again." And then they are chased by, or yeah, as they're running away from the infected, they're chased by the wolves into a park, which the wolves won't go into. And we quickly realize why, because they run into a bunch of seraphites or seraphim or whatever they're
Mhm.
called, and they witness them disembowel someone, hence my opening question. And wow, brutal. I mean,
Mhm.
holy shit.
Yeah, it's almost like religious fanatics are crazy or something.
Who would have thunk?
I know. It's so crazy.
That was like
Yeah,
one of the notes I wanted to bring up too. It's just like, it doesn't matter the religion, it doesn't matter the era, made up or real,
Mhm.
throughout all of human history. If you're a part of a religion, you're a part of a cult, and you're a fucking nut job. It's just that simple.
Yeah, pretty much. And
Like,
that's coming from people a part of a religion that was founded by a carny.
what are you talking about? I don't
I
know
don't
what
know.
you're talking about.
Again, a friend. I heard it from a friend once.
From a carny. Huh. When you say it like that,
Oh, that's always my argument with people. Oh, you're mocking me for saying that that's crazy. It's like, I understand crazy. Like, I'm a part of a religion that was founded by a carny back in the '60s. Like, if I think that's fucking wacky, that says some shit.
yeah. 100%. Like, we have perspective here.
Yeah.
Like, for real. Not even just saying it. No, I loved it because suddenly they realize, oh, these aren't victims. These are monsters too. And this is a weird
Yeah.
symbiosis these two groups are living in, just feeding off of the pain and torment of the other group. And who
Mhm.
knows what started the dynamic? It doesn't matter because they're existing in it right now. And it's brutal. And you just like,
Oh, yeah.
and just the fervor of it. But Dina gets an arrow in the leg, and so Jesse takes her off screen so we can then focus on Ellie escaping. And then, first of all, no universe you're sneaking by a dog. That doesn't happen.
No.
It doesn't happen. My dog hears things happening in from inside the house with all closed everything as someone is coming by our house, like down the
Mhm.
road. Like they know shit is there, even if they can't fuck it, or if we can't hear it, I should say. They know they
Yeah.
can hear it. And if you're going through tall grass, they hear it. They know you're there
Yeah.
before the grass is moving. They know you're there. So that was again one of those moments where you're just like, get the fuck out of here. Like, come on.
Yeah, she would have been caught by the dog a lot sooner. I mean, that's how it plays out in the game too, but that is like it's like a close fucking call type of thing almost every single time a dog's involved.
So I love dogs. They're the best. They're smart.
Yeah.
They're present. Mostly until they get
Mhm.
old. Old and fat dogs don't care as much. They just lay there. They want you to rub their belly, which is also
And you know
cool.
what? That's I was gonna say that's some of the best parts of them when they're just fat, lazy, and you go, "Yep, you can get away with anything you want now."
Yeah. Let's do the same thing on the couch. Come on, dog. Just fat and lazy on the
Yeah.
couch. Snuggle. I love snuggling with dogs. Dogs are the fucking best. Um,
Yeah.
all right, let's just turn this into a dog show. Let's talk
Done.
about our
Alright.
dogs. No, but
Yeah.
like, I, if you're if you're on a guard patrol, right? I why would you be holding onto the leash? If the dog has something, you let them go get it.
Yeah, that's the whole fucking point.
Yeah, so that threw me also, where he's like, "Oh, hey, let's go for he's leading me." No, you just sick them, boy, and then they go
Mhm.
get them. Then you catch up, and you have the perp. Like that's how it
Yeah.
works. But
"Oh, must have been a rabbit or something." Come on,
right,
motherfucker. Like, I'm sure
idiots.
they deal with like, those are very well-trained dogs, which I'm assuming we're gonna see in the next season if everything plays out the way that it's supposed to, which
Oh, cool.
how it ends, I'm assuming we will, but, like, no, these are professional fucking animals, like, they're not just, like, your run-of-the-mill pet that's like, "Oh, squirrel,
Mm.
cool." No,
Right.
these are trained fucking workers, it's yeah, they're not gonna lose their shit over a fucking rabbit.
Yeah. But it allows her to get away and just coincidentally run across. Wait, what was her name? I'm trying to.
Nora.
Nora. Well, no, she's looking for Nora, right?
No, she's looking for Abby.
Abby, that's it. Okay, my bad. So she runs across Nora, who I was so expecting her to roll over,
Mhm.
100%. But I love that she didn't, and she fought to the end,
Yeah.
and it was just so
Fuck yeah.
great. And we saw this really great chase scene into like just shit. Like that's where we're getting the air particle stuff, which then ties in with
Mhm.
the very beginning of the episode, so that we're now understanding that okay, it's not just if you get bit, it's now if you just breathe, which is infinitely
Mhm.
more terrifying.
Absolutely.
Because how long until that just goes into the upper atmosphere, and then everyone is infected, and there's no getting around it.
Mhm.
Unless you live
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Jane.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
I love that shit, like, seeing that bottom level, like, that's some of the best parts, like, the scariest parts of the game was, the subterranean areas where the fucking, the it just took over.
Mhm.
Like, nothing exists now outside of the, mycelium. So fucking cool.
That's the part I am in episode 1 where you're Joel and you're like swimming underwater in like collapsed buildings and it's all infected and you have to wear a mask in these certain areas and it's it's tense as hell and it's
Mhm.
freaky and I haven't gone back to it because I was freaked out because I had to like do some sort of lock and there's like infected charging me and I emotionally can't handle the stress of it. I'm just like pause, time out, please.
Right.
Like I need to switch this to super easy so I don't freak out and I can do it. I just can't do it. Um, but I
Yeah.
love that it's so tense. And then even at the end when she's coughing and she's actively turning, she knows she's fucked, and she just sees Ellie just slow walking toward her, and she's like, "This fucking bitch is Jason. Like, how is she alive?
Right.
This bitch won't
Yeah,
die."
that is straight up some fucking slasher shit. Just "Duh, duh, duh, duh. Sup, bitch?" Yeah.
Oh man, and just brutal. Like right before the chase began, she's like, "And that bitch deserved it," or something like that, and you're just like, "Ooh, this shit's gonna get real."
Right.
Oh, it was so
Like,
cool.
come on, why weren't you guarding your face that like, obviously somebody says some shit like that as a gun's pointed at them, they're getting ready to do some shit.
Yeah, yeah, for real. Now I'm just wondering, what the hell was that? Was that just like water? Was it like alcohol? Like, what do you
I
think
would
was in that
imagine
jug?
it was I would imagine it was alcohol or something because she was cleaning utensils,
Yeah,
so either alcohol or some sort of like maticide, cavicide, something like that. And admittedly, that shit burns when it gets in your fucking eyes or your throat or your face, and gives you cancer. So it's her reaction was
Jesus.
warranted, because I mean, if they have the technology to still produce certain gases for welding and
Mhm.
shit, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and assume they can still create like Cavicide or something.
I know what that is. Yes, they could.
It's it's a disinfectant type thing, like,
Yeah.
kills everything.
I just thought mommies kissed it better, and
I mean,
how
that works too.
that's how boo-boos are healed. Let me kiss him. Oh,
Yeah.
thanks, mommy. Like, my penis wasn't hurting, but thanks. Anyone else? That just me? Huh. Huh.
No,
Huh.
no, it happens to everybody
The penis
at some
kiss
point.
by mom. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It didn't happen. At least that I have don't that I remember anyway. I might have blocked it out. Who fucking knows? In any case, great ending to a very tense scene, and then of course just the brutality of Nora killing fuck me
Ellie killing
beating
Nora.
Nora with a pipe
Yeah. Yeah, because
was
that's the thing, it's
awesome.
like, she wasn't planning on killing her, she's just gonna fucking torture her and let her become one of them, and, like,
Yeah.
that is brutal as fuck. Because like, it'd be one thing to pop somebody in the fucking face, like, they already know they're dying, and at least that'll be that, but to let them turn because that's the thing about zombies, outside of a couple of movies, like, fucking like, just the only one that pops on my head is, like, Fido, like, outside of shit like that, we don't know if there's any bit of the human consciousness still in that, vessel, and that's fucking terrifying.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah, like, wanting to die versus turn, like, it's, yeah, I definitely appreciate that.
And I love the realization that Nora had about who this girl actually is. And that when she
Mhm.
tries to tell her that, you're the one that Joel took and like he killed all those people, she's like, I know what he did and I don't give a fuck. And just like
Yeah.
brutalizing this woman. Like every little ounce of hope she had of convincing her not to destroy her in that moment. And it just all goes away. And she's just like, fuck. Fuck.
Yeah.
I was so
Like, she
great
just
as an
said where
ending.
Abby was, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think that she would have let her go?
Absolutely not.
No, I don't think so either. But at least she
No,
would
no,
have
she
shot her and not beat her to death with a
mhm.
pipe.
Yeah, it would've been a quick death versus a miserable death.
Yeah. And this is why I love this show so much because this is so raw, emotionally raw. These are not healthy people in any
Mhm.
world. Normally what you
No.
find in some movies is you have like again, you have this story set in the backdrop of chaos, but the people are also factualized and they're all rationally thinking and, problem solving how to move around and live and stuff. But this is just raw brutality in Last
Mhm.
of Us. Everyone. And everyone is moving around with a chip on their shoulder for some shit that happened to them. And they're just waiting for the one trigger. And when that trigger hits, they're no longer human anymore. They're just
Mhm.
animals. And it's so great.
Yeah, yeah, I love it, and that's like, I love the aspect of how it makes you think like, this is a good person, this is the good guy, and then immediately we'll flip it and be like, but are they?
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you sure you know the difference, like, what morality actually is? Because it's a super gray area in this, and I fucking love that so much.
Well, that's another reason why I love it is because I don't think that there is good and evil in the world. I think
Mhm,
it's all circumstantial and it's deeply personal, and you see yourself as the hero of your own movie in life. But the
mhm,
reality is everyone else does too. And so the choices that you make that you think are good that affect other people are seen as evil by them. And so
mhm,
we're all just sort of doing our best to be our own version of good, whatever that manifests in our world. But we all have to also live together. And so we have that overlap. And you always have to question, am I the good guy here? Like, are the
mhm.
choices I'm making really good? Because I'm seeing how they're affecting other people. And once they start affecting people that you care about, that's when you really have that, I hate to say the phrase but you have that come to Jesus moment where you're like, oh, fuck, I'm a
Yeah,
monster. Like, and then you just have to either
yeah,
accept it or try to work on it. But that's it, or just, yeah, deal with the fact that you're a vile piece of shit too, just like everyone else. And that's what it means to be
right.
human.
Absolutely.
Well, on that high note, did you have a
Yeah, I was like,
favorite
I think
part?
that's a perfect way to fucking end this episode.
Well, let's just drag it out a little bit longer. Did you have a favorite
Oh, yeah.
moment of this episode?
Yeah, man. Seeing the fucking spores coming out of the
Mhm.
corpses. Oh
Yeah.
god, that was just so beautiful because that's like I just kept waiting for one of them to jump up because some of the scarier moments in the second game was just that because you could be walking through an area where there's just literally corpses lining the fucking
Oh my
walls,
gosh.
the floors, and all that shit. But they're a part of the organism. They're not individual entities. And then every now and then you're gonna creep by the wrong one, and that motherfucker's gonna jump out and get you.
Duh.
So I just kept waiting for that to happen. Even with this second watching, like I know how this episode plays out, and I'm still like, "Mm,
It's gonna happen.
somehow, what if this time it happens?"
Right.
Um, yeah, I fucking love that, and just seeing the destruction of this being like taking over, I absolutely love it.
Yeah, that had to be my favorite too. I was getting a little bit worn down by the couple surviving everything, the two girls, just
Mhm.
going through the most dangerous of places and just being fine. And this really put back the danger and intrigue and interest for me, especially on the second time around because it didn't bug me as much as the first time, as I mentioned. So I love that. Did you have a least favorite part?
No, not really. Like that's the thing with these episodes. Like, I mean, obviously they're going to be true to the game for the most part because it's the creators of the game
Mm,
doing this. But yeah, it's like they are able to condense the beauty of the game, the storytelling, all that stuff, and also fix what they felt was wrong about it the first time around. And it's just like the perfect distillation of their original idea. So yeah,
yeah.
I absolutely loved it.
See, I think that's the greatest response to people who um, play the games, love the games, and are upset by the changes. Because look, they executed the version already. It exists. You can go
Mhm.
play it, and you know it, and if that's what you love, it is still a thing that you can
Fuck yeah,
experience.
it is.
Um, but as the creators, what if they just want to tell it in a slightly different way that they think is better? That they couldn't do it before, or maybe they didn't think of it that way before because it wasn't episodic
Yeah.
like a series is. Maybe they just want to tell the story in a different way. It's still the same people
Mhm.
who created it, so it's not like someone else has taken over, like in Disney's case with Star Wars. This is the
Yeah.
original people, so how can you be angry at that? It's still their
Right.
vision.
This is the other side of the coin of what happened with George Lucas fucking with the original trilogy. Like that was bad. I mean, it's still good, but it was not. He shouldn't have fucked with it. This is the opposite, where it's like, yeah, you should have fucked with it because this is fucking fantastic.
Not sure I agree entirely with that, but okay, we can agree to disagree. That's fine.
We don't have to agree on everything, but
Yeah,
it's like I understand the changes that they made for the medium.
right.
So it works perfect. I accept it. And again, like I fucking love this game. I played this shit like 8 times in a
Wow.
row. Like I would
Wow.
fucking finish it and immediately start back up. It's that fucking good. Like this is probably other than like Banjo and Kazooie, this is probably like the most played video. You know what? We can laugh, but that is still one of the greatest fucking video games of all time.
Wow.
I will fist fight any motherfucker that wants to argue
Jeez.
that. But yeah, like
Over Banjo and
as
Kazoo.
yeah, one of the greatest video games ever made. There's a goddamn witch, and there's a fucking game show, and you learn to make stupid things. Like it's
My
great.
son played
But
the shit out of it. I could never.
oh man, good stuff, good stuff. Yeah, I just they're doing everything right with this, and I fucking love it even more every time I watch it.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait till we dive into the next one. So, for you watching,
Oh
thanks
yeah.
for one tuning in, but also let us know what you thought of this episode. Does it bother you that it's just two young people, not even just don't think of them as girls, but just two young kids going through all of this trauma and being okay? Like, is that believable enough for you? For me, it's one thing when there's like an adult there, and that's not to say that adults are great because they're pretty dumb. I am one, I know, but like firsthand. But it seems more realistic, and we see the fact that they have to be saved in this episode that brings it back to the realism to me. Um, and then do you think she would have like brutally killed Nora? Anyway, let us know what you think about that whole exchange in the comments below. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, like it or not, evil spelled backwards is live. So get out there and be evil.
And beat somebody with a pipe.
Preferably like a Nazi or something.
Obviously a Nazi. Like, come on, we're not
Not
monsters
like your
here.
grandma. Unless your grandma's a Nazi. Then beat her with
Yeah, if
a
your grandma's a
lead pipe.
Nazi, beat that bitch in the face with a fucking pipe.